So the title is Empowering Teenagers to Think Outside the Box. But I want to know what comes to your mind after reading that metaphor. Empowering teenagers to think outside the box.
Maybe the boss is making reference to the classroom. I don't know. Maybe.
Yes, that is true. Yes. So the box is the classroom. The box is the formal teaching, the methodologies, the traditional strategies that we use and that do not allow the students to do different things, to go out of their comfort zone and to start doing things in a creative and different way. Excellent. Somebody else has a different opinion? Any other idea that you want to share? The idea is to interact, okay?
Me, I want to participate.
Okay,
Well, Andrea, my
okay.
name is Andrea Pestana.
Okay.
I think that the bots, it's like English, what the student thinks about English. Maybe they think that it is boring, and because of the traditional classes, they don't like English.
Okay, okay. So you associate the box with English, with the perception that English is not maybe useful, is boring, is not something interesting for them. And most of the time, the people who are guilty about that are teachers. Yeah, don't you think so? That maybe teachers are the ones that perpetuate that thought that English is difficult?
Yes, maybe the methodology that they used.
Yes, sometimes we have different ideas about the things that we want to achieve. But when we start working in public or private institutions, we start doing the same things that the other teachers do. So we don't generate different strategies, ideas, and we just tend to do the same things every single day. So we are attached to the routine, and that's something terrible for us and also for our students. So I'm going to move to the next slide. I need a person who help me reading. Any volunteer? Okay,
I can
what's
do
your
it.
name?
Gloria.
Okay, Gloria, thank you.
Okay, although let me zoom in it, please. Although the jargon may be a bit overused, people who think outside the box are often labeled as innovators, a desirable quality in life and business. It's easy and safe to go with the flow, but leaders back trends rather than follow them.
Yes, so what is the invitation? What is the invitation when they say to think outside the box?
That we have to be creative and innovate our ideas.
Yes, excellent. Yes, so we have to be leaders. We have to empower ourselves and also to empower our students to be innovators and to do things in a different way. It's not easy. Sometimes you have to follow your dreams. You have to think not as the teacher, not as the people or maybe the person who has the knowledge and the abilities, but you have to think in a different way, to think like your students sometimes think. We all are learning. We learn every single day. Things are not easy. Sometimes we have skills and abilities that allow us to do certain things, but sometimes we find hard moments, and the same happen with our students. So we have to help them in the way that we can. So now I'm going to share a video. I'm going to stop the presentation and I'm going to share a video that was created for one of my former students. Okay, she graduated some years ago and she made a video in order to motivate students at the school where I am now working. I have been working there for 5 years. It's a co-educational school with a big population, more than 1,500 students in the morning because I work in the morning shift. And she got a scholarship. And so I'm going to present the video and you can learn about her experience. All right. Just give me a second.
Hello girls, my name is María Quintero. I took part in the English Intensification Program in the years 2009 through 2019 at Liceo Santa Librada School. In those years, I had the chance to be involved in the model of United Nations, and also I had a score of 364 points at Prueba Saber 11. So I got a scholarship called Generación E, and now I'm currently studying at Universidad de los Andes Business Administration, and I'm cursing English 6. So I didn't have to do English 1 through English 4.
University check!
Bunch of haters wonder why can't be no gamer. Half time thinking all she wanna do is bang her. Got her hair done, French braids, now she ASAP. You know so insensitive, she asking why you say that. Yeah, I'm chillin'.
English has helped me a lot, not just improving my academic skills because I've needed it a lot through my bachelor's degree, but also getting to know new people around the world. I can easily talk to someone from New Zealand or someone from France or someone from the Netherlands, and I think that's amazing because you can get to know their culture being here in Colombia, and that is just one example of many. So girls, I invite you to join the English team and have the most amazing experience in high school.
Okay, so what do you think about her experience? Any comment? So she had the opportunity to study in a private institution, in a private university. Due to her great score in the ICFES exam, she got a scholarship, and now she's studying business administration. And she's inviting students, because at school we have a program that is called Programa de Intensificación en Inglés. So girls, they study during 3 hours of English, 3 hours of English during the morning, and in the afternoon, during 2 days in the week, they have 8 hours of English. So they have a very strength ability in the use of the language. So she's inviting the rest of the students, 9th graders, to take the decision to study English, because at school we have other programs, and they work with SENA. So we have business and administration, and we also have another program that is called tourism. So the idea is that the students get involved in these programs and they can have better opportunities. They can have better job opportunities, and also they can have access to the university. Many of them want to go to the public university, so they need to have a really good score in the ICFES exam. But you didn't mention anything about the video. What do you think about her English level? Was it good or not?
I think it's pretty good.
Yes, pretty good.
She can, yeah, she can express herself very good. She can. It is incredible because when I listen to to what she was saying, like you may think she could have been studying English in another country, or maybe like in a institute or something like that, because her level is like really, really good. It is incredible that she could learn all that English in a program in high school. I guess it's a really good one.
Yes, that is great, because she didn't take any course outside the school. She was only with the classes that she received at school. So she's very competent in the use of the language. So we have also students who can take courses outside, okay, the school. They go to Ileusco. That is a program that the Sur Colombiana University has. But most of them are not able, or they don't have the opportunity to go there because they don't have the money to pay for that. But she didn't have that opportunity, and she has a very good English level. So she can show us that if you want and if that you like things, you can do great things. Okay, somebody wrote here in the chat something. Okay. So I decided to call it the way that I call it because I identify some problems at school, and the problems were connected with students. Students were seen as recipients of knowledge. So the teacher that was in that moment was very concerned about grammar, about rules, about using the language, but not in a meaningful way. So students just were learning about grammar structures, and they didn't have the opportunity to use the language in order to express themselves or to communicate their ideas. Also, the 4 skills were taught isolated. For example, in the morning shift, they study listening and speaking, and writing, and the other skill was taught in the afternoon. So there was any connection between them. And something that called my attention a lot was that the final written exam represented 70% of the students' performance, which I think is very unfair because evaluation must be a formative and summative process. So students have to be seen and evaluated, seeing all their potential, not only the things that they can do in an exam, but all the things that they have been doing and the things that they have been facing through the process of learning. They had many fears. They were not able to speak. Only the good students were considered the competent, and they had some privileges in the class. There were lack of opportunities for weak learners to participate in class or to do activities outside of the classroom. And the foreign language was not associated with having fun. That is something really, really sad, because learning must be a pleasant and nice experience. So I started creating the project following some steps. The first one was to adapt the curriculum, having into account the national standards, the basic English rights, the book that is given by the Ministry of Education, that in our case for 10th and 11th graders is called English Please. Do you know English Please? Or Way to Go?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. And also I took into consideration my student needs and likes. So I started looking for resources. One that I have selected that has been very useful for me is the British Council for Teenagers webpage. I also ask for the coordinator's help. You need the support of other people, my fellows' support, and of course the idea of learning daily. So I started taking some actions, and so I decided to choose the task approach and the project-based learning approach in order to center the process and to have a community impact. So all the activities that we do inside the classroom were socialized with the rest of the students in the school. My objectives, okay, one of them was to provide students with a specific and meaningful context, integrating the 4 skills. The second one was to design activities that provide learners an end-up product as an evidence of their own learning process. So project work was the ideal way to do that. The third one was to promote learner-centered approach, because in spite of we are always talking about the student-centered, we recognize that the teacher is still the center of the process. So the idea was to change that conception and to start giving my students different opportunities to use, to learn, and to propose things in the classroom, things that they can socialize with others. Well, I also have encourage learners to make self and peer assessment, which I think is really important to evaluate ourselves, to develop transferable skills such as teamwork, problem solving, communication, organizational and analytical skills, and to promote the use of metacognitive, cognitive, and social strategies through authentic tasks. And also to involve all the students, not only the ones that were the best, addressing their multiple intelligences. So I started identifying students' strengths and promoting teamwork, collaboration, and problem solving in the classroom. So I'm going to show you some evidence of the work that I have been doing. And this is the planning that we have at school. So we have Área Humanidades, Idioma Extranjero. This is for 11th graders. This is the first term. And this year we have only 3 hours, but due to the pandemic, we only have 1 hour in the week. So we can meet each other during 1 hour during the week in order to provide students some guidance and to continue working the almost same way that we used to work in the classroom. So we have the standards, the basic English rights, the competence, linguistic, pragmatic, and social-linguistic competence with the skills. We also have the components. At the beginning of the year, due to the fact that they were starting a new year, we have to make a review about the things that it was supposed they already know. And then we moved to spelling because it was an activity designed by one of the teachers. So we try to support the activities that other teachers promote at school. And then we have the goals that are called now aprendizajes o desempeños. Okay, we have to take into account ser, hacer y saber. Then we have the indicadores de desempeño. So what shows you that students are learning, the learning objects, and the tools that we can use in order to develop the classes. Do you have any question? Have you had a similar format? Maybe some of you are working now, or you are students, teachers, I don't know, because I don't know much about you. So do you follow any format? Do you have any format? Yes. Is it similar to the one that I am showing, or do you have different components? This is very general, okay, because everything is similar. Okay, Angelica. Okay, similar. Okay, Sadaik. And what is different, for example, if we compare mine with yours? Okay, Laura, the one that you have at school is almost the same. And something that you find that is not similar, that is different or totally different to the one that you have in your school. You don't want to talk? Okay. So in spite of that, we separated into vocabulary, grammar, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Okay, so the idea was to connect all the skills and to reinforce things, okay? For example, in reading, so to read a routine. So if we read a routine, we can write a routine, okay? Or we can listen and complete a chart. We can listen and match people and descriptions, listen and choose the correct answer, listen and get the gist, introducing people. So everything is related in order to foster learning, okay? And now I'm going to show you some of the activities that we have implemented at school. Okay, Laura Olivero said, okay, it's the same, but we use the one given by the university. Okay, So the English teachers, we are in charge at a school of the sexual education project. So the idea is to help students identify things that are affecting them daily. For example, sexual abuse or discrimination, bullying, grooming, sexting. So students are able to talk about that and to make presentations, to share that information with the other students. So we are empowering learners, we are empowering students. Okay, another activity is connected to celebration. So we celebrate St. Valentine, St. Patrick, Easter. And the idea is that the students not only share that information with the rest of the students, but they can share that with the whole school community, including principals and coordinators, workers at the school. In spite of they don't know the language, they don't use English in their daily life, they start getting in touch with the language, and students can feel that they are using for the first time something that they have been learning. This is another project that I created at school. That was the CrossFit project. So it was an heterogeneous group. They had many problems with the language. They had many fears. They were very reluctant to participate and to use the language. So I started asking them about the topics that they would like to talk about or to research. And they decided that CrossFit was a good option. So during the presentations, they talked about healthy habits, good and negative aspects of CrossFit, activities connected to CrossFit, the founders of that sport or activity, and where in Colombia you can practice CrossFit, and around the world where you can go to practice that. So they started having a different perception about the language, and they felt really comfortable and safe about the use of the language. Another project was the tourism project. We have, as I said at the beginning of the presentation, una media técnica que se llama turismo, guianza turística. So we created the date of the tourism, and the students started talking about municipalities in Huila, okay? Important facts about the places, and there was like a general meeting with all the students at school. We invited people who work in the touristic sector in Huila, and it was really nice for the students because they could put into practice what they were learning. Any question? No?
No, no so far, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Then we had the PenPal project. The PenPal project, it was developed, I think, 3 years ago. There was a teacher at school. She used to work there. And she was working in New York in a school called Worcestershire School. So she contacted me and she proposed me to start exchanging letters and messages with our students. Her students were learning Spanish, and my students, of course, were learning English. So it was a good way to interact and to start using the language for a real purpose. And they had the chance to stay in contact with native speakers. And it was really, really good. We had the opportunity to meet together. So 2 guys came to Colombia. They went to our school. Students were really happy. They were very excited about the experience. They are still friends. They are still in contact. So it was a really positive experience for them and also for me, because it was something new. I didn't have the chance to do that before. Another project was called the Mandalas Project. So some years ago, we had the opportunity to have some fellows. They were sent by the Ministry of Education. So the first one that was working with me was an Italian girl. Her name was Sara Marzocchi, and she was an artist. So she supported me a lot. She was very creative, and we developed a project that was about mandalas. So all together, we taught the students how to use the colors, what do they represent, the mandalas, the figures that we have in the mandalas. And she did some activities connected to body mandalas. I think we can call that in that way. And we also provided resources to the rest of the students during the recess. So instead of using their cell phones during the recess, they had the chance to interact, to color, to talk, to live a different experience. And then we have the alumni experience from Normal Superior de Neiva. We have here a Normal Superior. So former students, they are studying now at the Normal Superior in order to be teachers, and they go to our school in order to share their experience with the rest of the groups that we have there, and they motivate students to continue studying and of course to go to study at Normal Superior in order to be teachers. From time to time, I invite people to go to school. For example, she's a friend of mine, the girl with the baby. So we were working together some years ago in a town, and she's now living in the Faroe Island. She used to work in a cruise, and she went there to talk about her life and work experience. We have, as I said, foreigners visit, people from the United States or different parts of the world. So we connect them and we invite them to come to a school to talk with the students. The idea with the activities that we develop there is to promote oral ability. I know it is difficult, it's not easy to talk. It's not easy to talk in front of people, to talk to the public. All of us have many fears to make mistakes. But the idea is to challenge ourselves to start using the language. And there are also activities led and developed by the students. Here is Sara, okay, so we have the fellows support. Okay, here we have Rachel Miller. She was a teacher, okay, her occupation was teacher. She was a teacher from Canada, and she also went to school using the same program that Sarah used to come to Colombia. And it was really nice because she has a different accent. Sometimes it was really hard, extremely hard to listen to her and to understand what she said. But we were learning together, and she shared her culture and experience with the whole community. You can see here teachers, all of them are teachers from my school. And the idea is to contact and to involve people in the learning process. It's not about the students, but it's also about the whole community thinking and recognizing that English is important and that we can use it and that many things can change, because it's difficult to ask a person who doesn't speak a language to use it or to think that is useful. It's really complicated. Okay, here we have Rachel. We also take part in different activities inside and outside the school. For example, the one to my left was at our university, Corhuila University. They have an activity that is called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So we take students there, they study really hard, and they take part in the activities. And the one to my right is connected to the model of the United Nations. It's an excellent activity that is led by another school here in Neiva. So the idea is to support your position about a certain topic that is given. So you have to talk about your country, about the problematic situation that is stated, and to provide solutions. One of the most important activities that we have at school is called the Song Festival. This year we have our first virtual contest, and the students that participated in the activity, they were posted in the website that we have at school and the Facebook page, and the rest of the community, friends, colleagues from other schools, they voted and they assigned or they decided who was the winner of the competence. We have ninth graders motivation, okay, to come to the English intensification program. We also developed the World Cup project. Okay, do you remember the Russian Soccer World Cup? 2018?
Yes.
Yes, it was really nice. So all the school took part in that activity. So every single group had a different country. I can share the pictures with you. I can send the pictures to your teacher if you want. And it was an incredible experience because all the school was working on that. It was amazing, just amazing. We also participate in the Diario del Huila and in the Facebook Live English magazine with our students. So they go there and they talk about our learning experiences, what we do at school. We involve students from different groups, okay? And due to the fact that now this year everything has changed due to the coronavirus, we are modified in the way we connect with the students and we teach English. So we are starting using new strategies. We are using different presentations. We're using quizzes. I'm learning how to use Per Deck and so on, other applications that make English easier to learn for students, okay? The topics are appealing, make students reflect about their lives, about their decisions. And well, here I have what is to think outside the box. Okay, so thinking outside the box means using your imagination, keeping things simple, not difficult, avoiding routine, and always asking why, including challenge and learn from others. I notice not easy. Sometimes the things that you say seem to be simple, seem to be easy. It's too much work when you want to change your reality, when you want to change the routine, but it's worthy. And something that I really have in mind is to ask to students to move, to be open-minded, to accept new ideas, always promoting work, the experiences that let you share with others, be positive and encourage. Okay, so what is the impact that I have gotten from this experience during all these years? Is that my students are participating actively in class. They have become autonomous learners. Their motivation has increased. We have better results in tests. They have a more defined life project. They are more self-confident, more responsible. We have increased teamwork and collaboration. They started solving problems. They are more creative now, and they have in-depth understanding about the things that they are learning. So in that sense, I can say that I am still working in order to empower my students. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you. To talk in English all the time is Yes, it is a public school. It is located in Neiva, Huila. We have a huge population. And in the morning shift, we only have girls. So it is a co-educational school. But in the afternoon, because of the lack of students, because in the afternoon we don't have the great amount of students that we have in the morning, now we have accepted boys at school.
Could we have your email? So, teacher Adriana, Professor Adriana, if you could please write your email on the chat. Okay, so thank you very much for your presentation. So now it's time for questions. So I think she was like showing us, you know, all the different activities and projects and tasks that you could guys or even teachers, even we teachers, can come up with or can carry out, you know, at schools or maybe at the university in order to get students from schools motivated to participate in different activities, right? So guys, I don't know, teachers that are here with us today, if you have any question or students, I have some questions actually, but I'm gonna give some time to the student teachers or professors that are here with us. Um, does anyone have any question?
Yeah, I have a question, miss.
Okay.
Hello, Miss Adriana. So
Hello, what's your name?
I just wanted to ask you if you had any challenge or any um, trouble by the time you were performing the projects. I mean, with the students. What kind of challenge did you face?
Okay, as you know, being a teacher is not easy. Sometimes you have to be a coach, a motivator, a facilitator. You have many roles. Not all the students are really involved in learning, but I think that is the hardest part of being a teacher, okay, to keep them all motivated. So I think that is one of the biggest problems. And the other problem that I have identified is that teachers are very jealous, okay? Sometimes we don't want to support other teachers. We are very individual and we are always thinking about oneself, okay? So I just want to remind you that it's really important to have a friend, to have a colleague, to have your coordinators, okay? Your parents also involved in the process, to motivate others so you don't feel alone.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. Another, it has another question.
Okay, Kevin.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hello, Adriana. I would like to ask you, what do you do with the other students who are not involved in the project? What do you usually do with them?
No,
with students who are not motivated?
Okay, no, I always involve them. In any way that's possible, in any way, I involve all of them. So I start analyzing their skills, their abilities, their talents. And if the student is not good at English, but is good at drawing, painting, or acting, I always find a role for him or for her.
Okay, thank you.
I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, my question is, okay, you said that you involve all the students in that, like taking into account their skills, which data collection procedure, or how do you know the skills, abilities, or even interests, of the students?
Because you, instead of just go and teach English, you have to learn your students. It's gonna be a process that is going to take you some time, but you can talk to your students. Sometimes we tend to forget that, and we just go to our class and teach, okay? But we can talk with them. We can talk and say, well, let me know which are your abilities. What are you good at? What do you like? So you start learning about them, learning about their life experience. If the student is very reluctant to share with you, okay, you can ask another student, a friend, but also you have to be involved in the things that they are doing. You can talk to their homeroom teacher as well. You can make, remember that I always use project work. So you start asking the students their like, their interest, make a list, you select the topic, they go.
I would like to ask you another question.
Okay.
Do you use the time of your classes or maybe extra classes?
Okay, actually, I'm very devoted to teaching, but now I have two kids, okay? So I don't have much time as I used to have in the past. So I take the best and I do the best with the time that I have. But I'm always working outside of the school, not with the students, because now we have many limitations to be in contact with the students. Before the pandemic, we also have problems to be in contact with the students. There were some restrictions, okay, because they are adolescents, so it's difficult for them, and it's also difficult for teachers. But I do the best with the time that I have at school. Remember that we are not always teaching, that we have some free hours, that we have free time. So I use it as wisely as possible. Okay, Angelica?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Adriana, I have a question. It's about the projects. I don't know if I have, if I didn't understand when you were explaining about it, but I want to know the projects that you prepared were according to the lessons or according, sorry, to the topics that you were working in the period, in the term, or the project that you prepare is only for an activity, is only an activity that you prepare for the students in the whole term.
Remember that you are talking about project work. It's not only an activity, because if it is an activity, it is a task. So it is a project. I have also, I take into account the guidelines given by the Ministry of Education through the standards and through the basic English right. But I also have into consideration the students' needs and likes, and I try to connect them and to select with them, with my students, a topic that can be useful and that can have all the information that is required by the government, but that can be used for the students.
Okay, thank you.
Anytime. Rodolfo, how many hours of English do your students have per week? Okay, and now we have just 1 hour during the week. 1 hour, okay? That's something really sad because I don't have now much time to do things with them, yeah? But in the past, we have just 3 hours of English during the week.
Anybody else? Oh, Libardo? Sure.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Adriana. Thank you very much. I'm Libardo Hernandez. I'm a teacher here at the University of Sucre. Well, I don't have a question itself. What I wanted to say is that this is an amazing opportunity for the students. They have to know they have the responsibility for the change of teaching. They are going to be teachers, and they have to be open-minded, since we have a lot of tools, we have a lot of experiences that can help us to improve our teaching. All of us have been experiences that we had in the past, teachers like teaching traditional classes. So we haven't seen with your experience that we have different kind of teaching methods and strategies, and this is a good thing. Here we have like 50 students, kind of 50 students, so they can realize that we have many different opportunities for teaching. This is a great, nice experience that you have lived. So I want to thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your experience. I have learned a lot from this. Well, the student, I hope the students got a lot of, teaching from your experience as well. Thank you very much, Adriana. I like it a lot. And congratulations for this project.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Well, I have a question. So, Professor Adriana, you were talking about the newspaper experience and Facebook Live English magazine and content, right? So, I was thinking while you were talking, I was thinking that maybe, me as a coordinator, I could like, I could try to do this, get all the schools involved, maybe through the newspaper or through a Facebook Live English magazine. But wondering if you could like give us a little bit more details about these two experiences, like the newspaper experience and the Facebook Live English magazine, so I can get a better idea, and maybe I can promote it here, next year.
Yes, for example, in NEBA, we have a newspaper, so they invite the schools. We have the bilingual coordinator, so she is in charge of organizing the schools, and we take some turns in order to participate there. And what we actually do is to share our experiences, not only the teachers, because we are always talking, but the students. Is giving the students the opportunity to reflect about their learning process, to share their experiences. There is a monitor, a person who is leading the process, is a student from the university, from Sur Colombiana University. And as I said, students go there and they share what they have been doing in classes.
So is it work like they have a space on the newspaper and then like the materials are published every week, like once a week or something like that? So
Yes.
they
Yes,
design things. Oh, okay. So basically it's like each school takes a turn every week, and then every week on the newspaper, students, let's say production in some way
yes.
is on the newspaper. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank
That is true. That's what we do here. So I can share with you that information if you want. Every time that I receive it, I can send to you, and you can share that with your students. So you can see that all the schools, not only from NEIBA, because it has expanded from WILA, we are participating. Teachers are also able to write articles. This year, for example, I wrote an article for the newspaper, and I provided some options or some possibilities for teaching English during the pandemic. Some of the options that I provided were taken into account by my school, and things started to be changed, to be different, because many of the students in my school, they are very poor. They don't have a good socioeconomical status, so they don't have computers or resources to receive the classes now. So the school lent them the computers, and they are working with the computers that were given by the Ministry of Education.
And Professor Adriana, I have another question about the Facebook Live English magazine. Do you do that just with the students from your school, or is that also like a project that includes different schools?
The project includes all the schools from NEIBA. So you are invited to participate there. If you want, I can contact you also with the person in charge, and you can participate.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, that's another person have a question? Does anybody have another question?
Jimena, ¿puedo decir algo?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Tranquila. Mira que esta ha sido una experiencia, ha sido un reto realmente, porque como les decía, nosotros los maestros siempre tendemos a hacer las cosas como difíciles para los demás, y consideramos que somos los dueños del conocimiento cuando nosotros aprendemos a diario y tenemos el privilegio de aprender con nuestros estudiantes. Es una bendición tener este trabajo y desarrollar esta labor tan maravillosa que nos permite engrandecernos día a día de conocimiento, pero tenemos que ser humildes y compartir lo que sabemos con los demás. Yo diría que una de las limitaciones más grandes que tengo en este momento son como las inseguridades en torno al manejo del idioma, ¿sí? Uno es capaz de sacar estudiantes muy competentes en el uso del idioma. Yo creo que los jóvenes de hoy en día tienen habilidades maravillosas, tienen recursos que de pronto en su momento yo no tuve, están mucho más cercanos a la tecnología, a todos los medios de comunicación y han desarrollado habilidades maravillosas que también han hecho que su nivel de inglés sea muchísimo mejor al de los maestros. Diría yo que los estudiantes nos superan muchas veces en dominio del idioma. Entonces, para los maestros de primaria, para los maestros de secundaria, esa puede ser alguna de las limitaciones que nosotros tenemos. Aun cuando todos los días enseñamos y aprendemos, como lo he dicho, siempre tenemos como la inquietud de si estamos hablando bien, si no nos hemos equivocado, si estamos haciendo las cosas de la manera correcta. Pero pues la única forma de hacerlo es arriesgándonos y teniendo este tipo de interacciones y oportunidades. Entonces, pues agradecerle a Ximena, agradecerles a los compañeros docentes de la universidad que están hoy acompañándonos, a ustedes estudiantes que se han mantenido acá durante el desarrollo de la reunión y que analicemos que no hay imposibles, sino que muchas veces no vemos las cosas que queremos ver y nos fijamos solamente en ciertos aspectos de la educación cuando realmente sí somos generadores de cambio, sí somos generadores de transformación humana. Y con nuestra actitud, con nuestro comportamiento, con nuestra energía, con nuestras palabras, con todo estamos influenciando a los jóvenes, sobre todo a los jóvenes que en este momento están viviendo una vida tan difícil, tan complicada.
Bueno, profe, pues muchas gracias. También agradecerle, yo creo que ha sido esta presentación, al menos para mí espero, y para todos, espero, una inspiración de ver todos los proyectos a través de la metodología de tareas y proyectos, todas las cosas que ustedes han logrado hacer, y también a mí como coordinadora me dio ideas de pronto de espacios que yo puedo promover para generar redes académicas, ¿cierto? Entre los diferentes colegios, nosotros, por ejemplo, este semestre tenemos 70 practicantes, hay muchísimos involucrados, tanto a nivel municipal como a nivel departamental, y creo que si, por ejemplo, desde la coordinación se lograra tener un espacio en el periódico, si tuviéramos un magazine en Facebook, esto también serían espacios para que los practicantes puedan organizar actividades y pueda haber contacto entre los colegios y hayan espacios donde los estudiantes de esos colegios puedan mostrar su producción y creo que sería muy motivante. Entonces, de mi parte, muchas gracias. Bueno, el profe Rodolfo está diciendo Olimpiadas. Sí, creo que esto que podría ser parte. Nosotros en la práctica tenemos actividades complementarias, proyección social, aparte de la docencia como tal. Entonces, creo que de pronto a nivel de todos los colegios podríamos también, desde la coordinación, se podría organizar espacios donde se puedan hacer muchas actividades y que incluyan a todos. Entonces, de mi parte, muchísimas gracias. No sé si alguien quiere decir algo más en inglés o en español, algún practicante o profesor. Y bueno, parece que no. Entonces, muchas gracias y muchas gracias a todos los que asistieron. Y bueno, ya seguiremos. Para la otra semana vamos a tener un profesor invitado que está haciendo su doctorado en Francia y será en francés. La conferencia de la semana, sí, entonces yo les estaré haciendo llegar la invitación a todos otra vez. Y bueno, muchas gracias a la profesora Adriana María Victoria por acompañarnos hoy. Gracias a todos, que estén bien.
Bueno, Liliana, muchas gracias. Gracias a ustedes por invitarme.
Bueno, chao.
Chao, bye bye.